Hello students, I hope everyone are at home and safe. Today we'll see a topic from Unit 5, Structures in C. Now, let's start with an introduction. Now, as we have arrays or any other variable which store a value in any format, like it may be a integer, it may be a float, or it may be a string. So here, similarly, like an array holds or has a collection of similar data types, so that it holds more than one value. We have another type called structures. Now, we will see here as an example, we have array of marks which has 3 elements of integer data types. So here marks is a variable name which holds 3 values, and those 3 values are of all integer data types. Similarly, C has an advantage that it has a package or packaging system with multiple data types. Now, here in this case, there is only one data type. There is only one variable called marks. So it is holding only one data type. But C has a packaging system called structures. Now, we'll see how. First, we'll start with the definition. Now, a structure is a collection of variables called as fields or members. So, what variables what we are going to use in a structure, those are called or referred as fields or members of different data types under a single name. Now, basically a structure, now why is the use of structure here? The most important use of structure here is that, now the disadvantage here was that only one data type could be used. Here the advantage of using structure is that we can hold information or multiple data types under a single name, so that it can be used for multiple purpose. Now, example, you can take an example of a student information. Now, what are the student information? What is his name, USN, semesters, what are his different subjects, what he has answered or about to answer, and so on. Similarly, for bank customer name, we have different types of information, like what is the name of the customer, what is his address, what is his mobile phone number which is going to be linked to the bank, what is his Aadhaar card, PAN card, and so on. Now, all these are different data types, like name is a string, mobile number is an integer number, Aadhaar card, again it's a multitextual, that is a character as well as a number, so it will be a string. Then we have address, which is again a string. Here all these information are going to be stored under a single name. So here we are going to use a method called structure to use this multiple information for a particular application. Now, let's see how to define a structure then. Now, while defining a structure, like we have to declare the variable, we have to declare the structure variable before we use it. Now, most of the times we declare the structure template before the main program, so that it can be used anywhere in the program. So here the format has to be, or the template has to be declared, so that the format can be used anywhere else later in the structure variables. Now, we have certain rules as we have for any other variable, like marks. Int is a keyword and marks is a user defined variable name. Similarly, for structure we have a keyword called struct, S-T-R-U-C-T, struct, and we'll see the general format of it or syntax. We have struct, a tag name. This is a generally a user defined name which can be used or defined by the user. Then we have a pair of opening and closing curly brackets or parentheses. We have the variables, these we call it as member 1, member 2, and so on. They are individual data type, they can be different data types in it. We can have any number of members which can be used. Now, we can see here that marks holds only 3 values, or it's an array of 3 which holds only integer data type. Here it doesn't happen like that. Now, the data types are differing here. It will differ or it may differ. So here the data type can be of, or the members can be of any other data type. Now, there is one more extra thing which we need to keep in mind, or it is very important, that when we open and close a curly bracket, the closing curly bracket ends with a semicolon. Now, you have to end the semicolon. Now, this entire struct tag, we also call it as template. We also call it as a template. Now, this template is used to define what structure variables are, or structure members are to be defined, so that you can use these member functions in your program for any other purpose. Now, we'll see an example here. Now, consider an example of a book. Okay, so now we want an information for book. So what we'll do, we have different attributes like name of the book, author, pages, and price. Now, these are the 4 parameters what we have to use. Now, you can see that name is a string, author is again a string, pages, it can be a number, so it is generally a number, so can be an integer. Price, I cannot have an integer. Why? Because the price can be in decimal, so I have to have price as a floating point. So I will define a structure here. So I will have remember, S is not capital, it is all small. The keywords are all in small letters. Struct. Okay, so you can see here in this example, it is very clear. We call this as an entire template. Template of struct book information or book bank, where we have 4 members of this structure called book bank. The first member is title, author, pages, and price. Whereas title and author are of both character data types, means what, they are a string, or you can have a collection of characters. Pages is an integer. Float is used for price. Now these are all the members. Now you can see here, after the closing parenthesis, I have closed, or we have used a semicolon. Now this semicolon indicates that my structure has ended there. My structure has ended here, and there is no further structure members or variables, because there may be a case that multiple parentheses can be used. So here this semicolon indicates that my structure has ended at that point. Now, as we can see here, for the structure, we have a different memory allocation. So for memory allocation, Okay, so this is this is how we show it in memory allocation, how memory allocation takes place for a structure called book bank. So we have 4 members here. Now title is of 20 characters, so it takes 20 bytes, author 15 bytes, pages 2 bytes, and price as float bytes. So totally for our structure, what we have defined here, it takes how much? 20 plus 15 is 35, 36, 37 plus 4, 41 bytes. Okay, so here for memory allocation it takes 41 bytes for my book bank structure. Now while you are defining a structure, you should keep few things in your mind and follow the following syntax for it. Okay, now there are few things, I'll explain it here itself. Now the first thing is that this is a tag name. Now using this tag name only you can identify this structure. So in my program I may have different tags or different structures with different tag names. Now if you have a structure with the same tag name, you may get an error. Few compilers may execute, few compilers may not execute. So in that case, this tag name is used to identify what type of structure you are using and what is the structure which is being defined. Now this is a template as I said. Now there are few other things like I have already told you, the semicolon indicates that it is a end of the structure. Now now the entire definition here, now this is also a definition, is considered as a single statement. Since it is using book bank, all the 4 members can be simultaneously read or simultaneously be assigned. So here this structure can also be stated as a single statement here. Now we'll see some difference between array and structure. Now there are basically four differences between array and structure. So we'll see one by one. Okay, so basically there are four differences. The first one is that obviously the definition of array, it is a collection of similar data type. Here structure, it is a collection of different data types. So here I can have different types of data under a single statement. Now this is a derived data type, means what, like, and this is like an example of int. Int is a derived, means already defined data type. But here this is a user defined data type. So here I don't have any strict format that I will have only 4 members or 5 members. I can have n number of members or whatever your requirement of your members are there. So here it is basically user defined. This array behaves as a built-in data type. So here when I say int marks, it's a built-in data type. Marks is just a variable name for an array of 3. So we had seen an array of 3. Here this is generally defined before it is used or before it is called or before the main function, so that it can be used to create a variable later in the program. Fourth one, array elements are stored continuously in memory location. So here while using array, if I have 3 variables or 8 variables, they are going to be stored in a continuous fashion, one after another. But here in structure, it is not the same. Now the structure variables, since you can see here the size is different, these members can be stored non-continuously. Now here this is 20 bytes, this is 15, I need to make this 20. So we have a special case called padding bytes, which is being used to store here. So here this gives me extra 5 bytes of padding information. So I need to have such padding information to store it for a structure here. Now we'll not go in depth how padding information is stored. Okay, so we'll go with how to declare these structure variables. Okay, so I'll just keep this example as it is and we'll go ahead. So basically there are 3 things what we have to keep in mind. The first one is a keyword. Second name is a tag name. Third one is list of variables. And fourth one is a semicolon. Okay, so before we start declaring or defining a structure, so here before declaring we require 4 things we need to keep in mind. The first one is a struct keyword. Second one is a tag name. Okay. Third one are my list of variable names. These are my list. Fourth one is a semicolon, which indicates that my structure is terminating at that point. Okay. Now, when we write a structure, the memory is not allocated in my, or the variables or these members do not allocate a memory. Now, when will be the memory allocated to each and every member here? Whenever we define a variable. Now, how do we define a variable here? Now, this is just declaration of my structure. Now, I need to find out how to define a variable here. Okay, so I will use this method. Now, even while defining a variable, we need to find out these four things. First one, a keyword. Second one is a tag name. Third one, a list of variables. And fourth one is my semicolon. Now, this can be used for my defining a tag or a template or defining a variable. Now, all these four important things should be remembered while defining both the template and the variable here. Now here, this indicates that book 1, book 2 and book 3 are three variables of structure type, of which tag name book bank. So here, book 1 will have 4 member functions. Now this is the time that my book 1 variable will have 41 bytes to be stored in my memory. Similarly, book 2 will have next 41 bytes of memory allocation. Book 3 will have third memory allocation of 41 bytes. Now I want to access these member functions here. Now there is another method that instead of defining a variable in this case, I can also define it at the end of my template. Now this is another method that before the semicolon at the end, I will have in the template only, I will define three variable names of book 1, book 2 and book 3. So these three variables are similar to this defining a variable or declaration of the variable. Now there is one more third where I don't specify the tag name and I directly define the variable name at the end of the template. Now the third one we don't use is because since I don't have a tag name, I always, or it is compulsory that whatever variables I want to define, I have to define in this template at the end only. Now the advantage of using this method is that I can declare, using the tag name, I can declare the variable names anywhere in my program. So here it is very difficult, so that is the reason I have to keep use this tag name compulsorily. Okay, so here this tag names gives me a flexibility that I can use the structure anywhere. I need not come back to the template, add the variables and then use. Now using this method, I can declare it anywhere in my program. I need not have to declare always in the template. So I'll just keep it this way. Generally, the third type is not at all used. Why? Because that is the biggest disadvantage of using a structure without a tag name. that I cannot declare the variables anywhere else in my program, but I have to declare it at the end of my structure template only. There is one more method called typedef. Okay, this is another method. We use a keyword called typedef. This is a keyword which is going to be used, and the keyword structure. There is no tag name at this point here. Okay, please keep in mind. In this case, we had the keyword immediately followed by a tag name, a space in between. But here we have two keywords, typedef and structure. So we have 4 member functions like title, author, pages and price. So same all these 4. Now at the end of this structure which is being defined, we have the tag name here. Now the advantage here is that I can have this tag name which is very similar to this method. The only difference here is that the tag name is here defined, and here in this case the tag name is defined at the end. So I can have different tag names also which can be used here. So instead of book bank 1, I will have book bank 1, book bank 2, and at the end I will complete it with a semicolon. So I can have 2 tag names for the same type of structure. Okay. Now here I cannot have 2 tag names here at the beginning. So this method gives me an extra provision that I can have 2 tag names referring to the same type of structure here. Okay. Now we'll take this method, we'll take this simple method or a common method what we use, and then proceed further. Now, how to access once we know that how the variables are being defined, we have a method called struct. Okay, so we have 3 variables called book1, book2 and book3. which are of structured data type book bank. Okay, so here every variable has 4 members allocated to it. So now how to access this? Now there are 2 methods. The first one is using a dot operator. Okay, so I can use like book1 dot title. The second one is, now basically this second method we use for pointers, which is also called as which is being used, or it's a combination of 2 special characters, a dash or a hyphen and a greater than, equal to or greater than symbol here. So it looks like an arrow. This we use for pointers basically. So we'll use a simple dot operator here for defining our variables. So there are different variables or different operations what I can do. Like I can have here I have assigned for pages, number of pages for book 1, it is 500. So using this dot operator, I can access the member functions individually. Similarly, I can have book 2 price as 450.75 paisa. So here every member functions or members I can access individually using this variable name. So I need not use this. There are some other things like using in scanf. I will say %d to read the book pages. Similarly, in printf statement, I will have this fashion. Okay, so I will have similarly how we use for any other variable. For %d is for integer, %f is for floating point, and %book1 dot page, how we read it for a normal integer variable with the and symbol. In the same way, only with the variable name dot operator and the member here. Similarly, variable name dot operator here and a member which is going to be used here in this printf statement. So in any method or any place, you can use the member functions individually and can be used separately. Now there are various other ways also, like I can use for comparing it. Or I can assign from one book to another book. Okay, so I can use it for comparing 2 values, book1 dot pages and book2 dot pages. I am going to use the 2 equal to operators, indicating that I am going to check whether they are equal or not. Now here, in the second case, book1 price, I am going to assign the value of book2 price to book1 price. So the price, whatever value or amount of book2 is there, it is going to be assigned the same amount to book1 price. So price, member function of price of book1 is assigned the value of price of book2. Okay. I can also use this in a conditional statement like if. Okay, I can use it in a for loop, I can use it in any other looping method or any other function here. I can also use it member function individually for a simple mathematical calculations, like here I will have or I can also assign a string. Okay, so I can have a mathematical function, or this is a simple mathematical function, or finding a radius of a circle pi r square. So I will have 3.142 into r. So this is one of the simplest mathematical function. The fourth example is that book3.author. I'm going to assign a text here or a string here to this book3 author. Okay, so I can assign in this method. I have to use double quotes for a string, as we know, or as we use it for strings here, and so on. Okay. Now there is one more question, that like any other variables, can we assign some initial value to a member function in a structure? Now, if we use this method, okay, like example, if we use this method to define or initialize some value to my structure, this gives me a error. Both these statements will give me an error. Now why? Because every member function, so like my book 1, book 2 or book 3, but it has to be assigned like this. So I cannot do this. This is a compiler error. Okay, these are my compiler error. Now how do I initialize some value? I can initialize in this method as now, while initialize, you have to take care that the first variable here or member here is of character data type, second is character. So both these I have to keep in mind. So I will just say so first it is title. Now if I give like this, okay, so if I give like this, now as I said, I cannot use this method. So to initialize, I have to keep it variable way, or variable wise I have to initialize the value. So here book 1 has 4 members, but here there are only 3 parameters. Now the issue is that this can be taken as title, but the next one I cannot take as a text here. Since it is an integer number, the next expected was a string here again. So here this will also give an error. There are few compilers which may accept, since saying that the first one is for the title, second one it was not found, third one integer, fourth one a floating point. So this few compilers may take it, but generally we use a method saying that we assign all four members separated by a comma. Okay, so here this indicates that the first is for the title, the second is for the author, the third one is for the pages, and fourth one is for price. Now we may also have a method that only first few members I am going to assign, the other members I am going to ignore. Now this is very much possible. Okay. Now in the previous thing I had assigned a value for a member function which was in the middle, and I had kept the rest. But here I have only the first two member functions being assigned. The rest, pages and price, I am going to neglect or I am going to ignore it. Okay. So here I can use it in this method. Now there are certain rules for initializing. How to initialize? We have certain rules for it. Okay, now basically there are 4 rules. The first one is that we cannot initialize individual members in my template. So in my template I cannot initialize any value. So my template has to look like this. I cannot initialize anything or for any member in my template here. Now while initializing here, I need to follow the steps here. Like I have to follow the pattern, or I have to follow the order of members, how they are assigned. In the same order I have to assign the values or initialize the values. Now the third one, it says that it is permitted to have partial initialization. Now in this case it is partial initialization. I can have C programming and Bal Guruswamy for title and author. Pages I have ignored here. Page and price I have ignored here. The fourth one and the most important, if there is no assigning or no initial value, by default for integer and floating the default values are zeros, and for character and string the default value is a null operator. Now this is a null operator symbol. It will be assigned for a character or a string. Now there is a small topic which is left. Now, like how we use arrays, we are going to use structures, but we can also have array of structures. So here the last topic is okay. So I will have array of structures. Now why do we require array of structures? Now example, like I have for bank customers, I have 1000 bank customers. So should I have 1000 variables of customer 1, customer 2 and customer 3, so on. So instead of using that, I will use this method as, okay. So for book, instead of I will write the structure here. Okay. So here for bank customer, I cannot sit and write I cannot sit and define all those variables of 1000 bank employees or 1000 bank customers. So instead of that, what we can use this method. Okay, so I will use a array which defines 1000 bank customers of having this template where every customer will have name, address, mobile number, PAN card, Aadhaar card and so on. So how to access that? I will use cust of one dot name, cust of 1000 or 100 dot PAN and so on. So here this is a array of a structure called customer data type or bank customer, which has a variable name called cust. So cust is a variable name here. Okay, cust is a variable name and it has 1000 array elements or 1000 variable or 1000 array elements of customer with a name, common name called cust of a structure bank customer. So using this method I can access any member functions individually as we do it for, as we have seen it for book. So book price, book.price or book.pages, how we have handled. In the same way here we are going to use individually with the help of these array numbers here. Okay. So every member functions can be handled individually in this method, and it can be using the array method. I can handle any member individually using this method. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much.